Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello students, how are you? Now we are going to start today with your subject that you have here in third year, inshallah. We are going to start with Mega 5. So we have here English 5. I'll be teaching the subject with you. My name is Hayfa Nahab. Now we are going to start with this subject that is very enjoyable, and there are a lot of interesting things that we are going to pass through together, inshallah. So we're going to start, first of all, with this simple portrait that you can see. Now you can see here that we have here the family portrait of one big family. So who is our family? We have here English, grammar, write, read, listen, speak, punctuation, vocabulary, and we have annotation. Now lessons are connected to each other. They will be easier to remember. You can see that our portrait here is the basic skills and the things that we are going to use throughout our lessons. We have here grammar, we have the vocabulary. You can see that we have here reading, listening, speaking, and we have also small parts like punctuation and annotation here in the portrait with us. Now, as we have here, they are all connected to each other and they are all one big family. So actually, in English, when you are learning, you are not just learning one thing, you are learning everything at the same time. You are connecting even though you don't know that you are connecting. So when you have grammar, you are actually learning grammar, you are writing, you are reading the sentences, you are speaking, you are listening to other sentences being said, and also you are learning vocabulary at the same time. When you are reading, you are doing the same. You are forming sentences, which means grammar. You are learning vocabulary. You are reading, you are speaking, you are writing, and so on. So now you know that English is one big family. A lot of skills are applied at the same time. And when you know that you are doing this, you will be encouraged to learn more, and you know that you are doing a lot at the same time. Now, we are going to focus in this lesson on learning by speaking and listening, which is actually continual practice. So when we say that, we are practicing all the time. When you are speaking, someone else is listening. When you are listening, you are learning words. You are trying to form sentences when you are speaking. So this is a kind of continual practice that we are doing all the time, even if you don't know that you are practicing. Now, communication is an essential part in everyday life. And why do we mention communication? Because actually, when you are speaking and when you are listening, you are communicating with other people around you. So communication is the way that will help you benefit, and it is the way that will help you learn English through communicating and interacting with other people. So as long as you know that you are learning, you are going to express yourself. You are going to try to learn new words to express your ideas, your thoughts, and points of view. Now, there are different forms of communication. You can see that we have here formal and informal. So the way that you speak to your school leader, for example, is different from the way that you speak to your friend. You have also oral, which means that you are speaking, or written, you are texting, you are writing something, and you are sending your messages to someone else. We have here also internal and external. Now, the way that you communicate within our schools, with students, with teachers, with the school leaders and staff, is what we call internal. And external means that someone who is outside the school itself, it communicates with other parts in the community. We can say that it communicates with other governmental, let's say, departments or we can say that there is some kind of interaction with other parts, with the community in general. So with families, we can say also. So this is what we have here, and this is the difference between internal and external. We can say that it is some kind of communication inside and also outside. The last part we have here is verbal and nonverbal. Now we have here verbal means that we can use words within our communication, or nonverbal means that we are going to use face expressions, gestures, body language to send some kind of message that you want to someone else. Moving on. Now, from your point of view, which kind is best and why? Which kind is best? What do you think? Which way is better to learn English and to learn or communicate with other people? And why? What is your point of view? Now we can say in general, speaking is a basic learning skill in the English class and in general. So when we say that we communicate with other people, the best way to communicate and benefit from it at the same time is throughout speaking, because speaking is a skill that you can learn in class, and also you are learning how to speak in general outside with other people. Simply talking with other people can help you learn and discover new words. As with reading, once you hear a new word, remember to jot it down so that you can study it later and then slowly add the new word to your new vocabulary. So we can say that sometimes when you are listening or you are talking to someone else, you can learn and you can hear new words that you can memorize, you can write them down, and later on they will be from your vocabulary that you can use. And we will learn within our lessons how to build your vocabulary and how to make use of it as much as you can. Now, interacting and communicating, as we said, is something very important within the English language in general, and very important within your benefit to educate and to also learn new things. You can improve your fluency through the regular practice and speaking, expand your vocabulary, and also at the same time you can practice your grammar. With the right expressions, phrases, and good language, you can communicate more. So you have to just learn how to use your language, how to choose the right phrases, how to choose the right words, and at the same time we have here the expressions that you use. Now we know that when we have conversations, there are different kinds of expressions and phrases that we can use, which depend on what kind of conversation we have. Now, these are things that we have learned within Mega 4. Now, if you remember your lessons that you took in Mega 4 we talked a lot and we spoke a lot about conversations, about different situations that we have. And at the same time, we related after our speaking lessons or the conversation lessons, we had directly listening lessons, because actually speaking and listening, they are related and they are connected to each other. So as long as you are speaking, there is someone who is listening. That's why we have some kind of relation between the two skills, and that's why we are going to move on and see what are the most important points that you have to know about listening. So the listening skill, as we have now, although the word listen is used a lot in class, we always say listen. Listen to this, listen to the lesson, listen to the reading, listen to the conversation. But actually, do you know how to listen? So we're going to see here. A lot of students struggle with the listening lessons in English class. They feel that they are difficult. They cannot focus on what they are listening to. And here, these are just small tips to help you just improve the way that you listen in class or listen during your lessons. Now, the value of listening lessons in class is to practice your English and understand content. You can recognize accents and different pronunciation, meaning that when you know that there is something, the content that you are going to learn from, and you know that there are different accents and you are used to these different accents. Now we know, for example, there is the American, the British, the Canadian, the Australian. There are different kinds of accents in English. Now these accents, they are different and they are useful to just make you used to listening to different kinds of English accents. So as long as you are used to different accents, you will be able to understand more and you will benefit more from the content that you are listening to. Now these are small tips that will help you within the listening lessons. First of all, be prepared. So you are prepared and you know that you are about to listen to something. Concentrate and pay attention. Concentrate means that you are going to just put in mind that you are going to listen to something. There is an aim. There is something that you have to take out from this listening part, and pay attention to what are the most important words that are said within the lesson, or the listening skill, sorry. So we have here, there are some words that we are used to. We can say, for example, connectors and, but. We can say some names. They are things that you can just put aside and concentrate on the, we can say the basic words or the words that appear to be different from the others. Don't get distracted, meaning that when you are about to listen to something, don't get distracted by looking for something around you, by looking at your phone, by talking to someone. So focus, try to just concentrate on what you have and leave anything other aside. Listen for meaning. Also, there is some kind of meaning and there is some kind of situation that you have to understand from the whole listening part. So it is better just to focus on what are the basic words and what is the type of conversation or the listening skill that you have. Focus on what's important, so you can just write down what are the basic points that you listen to throughout the lesson. Don't ignore your health, and this actually is something which is very important. Now, as long as you have slept well, you have had your meal, you have breakfast or so on, you will be prepared and you will be alert to listen and to understand more. Now, these are the basic tips that you can benefit from throughout the listening lessons. And here we have some kind of example. Now you can see that there is a listening task that we have here, and we're going to apply what are the things that we just said. So we have here, he thinks that they are blank places. Now you know that you are going to choose one. So the basic idea is you are going to read first what are the words that you have and try to understand each word and pronounce it correctly so you will listen to it correctly. So we have here, for example, the first one. Now what I meant by saying that we are going to just ignore some words and focus on other words, because we have here, like for example, he, that, they, these small pronouns, they are something that is common and they are in the sentence. So they are not basic words, they are just connectors to complete the sentence here. So we can say that we have here, we're talking about place. We have what kind of place? We can say that we have here, for example, fascinating, interesting, or amazing. So we are going to listen and see what kind of place do we have. The workers make sure that the shelves are, so what are the basic words here? We can listen to the word workers. Also shelves is different. And make sure. Mocked, stocked, or locked. We know that we have here three words that appear to be similar, so listen carefully. The prices are usually, So we have here the basic words going to be price, cheap, sheep, or steep. The only thing the speaker doesn't like about them is when he has to. So we are going to concentrate. What does the speaker don't like? Say, pray, or pay. The speaker hates when he gets a trolley with a wobbly. So we have here the word trolley and wobbly. We have here meal, deal, or wheel. In Japan, you'll see a whole aisle selling. So we are concentrate on what is in Japan. And what do they sell? We have here seaweed, sea sand, or sea salt. In the blank, they sell dates and olives. So where do they sell dates and olives? We have here Middle East, or the East. The speaker's favorite is, what does the speaker like most? So the speaker's favorite, is it Japan, or England, or India? So we are going to listen together and without even looking at what we have here.
Supermarkets. I think supermarkets are interesting places. They are packed with thousands of different kinds of goods and products. There is an army of workers making sure the shelves are stocked and everything looks nice. And the prices are usually cheap. The only thing I don't like about supermarkets is when I have to pay. I hate waiting in line at the checkouts. Another thing I hate is when I get a trolley with a wobbly wheel. I really like going to supermarkets in different countries. Each country has very different things. In England, you'll see a huge cheese selection. In Japan, you'll see a whole aisle selling seaweed. In the Middle East, you'll see shelves and shelves of dates and olives. And my favorite is India and the hundreds of colorful spices.
Yes, now let's go back and see what we have here. Now, just to answer, now he said at the beginning, we have here, he thinks that they are places. What did he say? Did he say fascinating, interesting, or amazing? What did you hear? We have after that, the workers make sure that the shelves are marked or stocked or locked, so we can say that they are stocked. The prices are usually, now this one is obvious, we have here cheap. The only thing that the speaker doesn't like about them is when he has to, we can say that this one also is obvious, we have here pay. The speaker hates when he gets to, or gets, a trolley with a wobbly wheel. In Japan, you'll see a whole aisle selling seaweed. In the blank, they sell dates and olives in the Middle East. And the speaker's favorite was actually India. So here, from the listening that we had, and we just listened one time, and this is just a very simple way to apply the listening lesson. No, it is actually a very short speaking text that we have here, but now you know that you have to first read the text, you have to understand what is the text about, and you have to just choose what are the important words that you are going to listen to and focus on the other words that are related. And then at the end, you will get the correct answer, inshallah. And at the same time, you will be able to learn new words that are associated and they are connected within the lesson. So these are the basic tips that we have here. We talked about speaking. We talked also about listening here. And at the end, we have here, tomorrow, we are going to take another part, which is within our portrait of the family or the English family. So we had the two parts, which are speaking and listening. Tomorrow, inshallah, we are going to move to something else, which is very interesting. So be prepared.